I unexpectedly rescued Lin Muan, a wealthy heiress who had been kidnapped. To repay my debt, the old lady of the Lin family gave me two choices. Either marry her most beloved granddaughter, Lin Muan, or give me a small goal of 100 million yuan. I decisively chose the small goal and immediately booked the fastest flight abroad. I just wanted to escape from here as soon as possible, to escape from Lin Muan, the wealthy heiress of Beijing whom I had rescued, simply because I had been reborn. In my previous life, after rescuing Lin Muan, the wealthy heiress of Beijing, I worked 5 jobs a day and painstakingly raised her into a pampered little princess. After she was found, she forbade anyone to mention that unbearable memory. Seeing that I had done a favor for the Lin family, the old lady of the Lin family asked me what I wanted. I foolishly said, I want to marry Wanner and take care of her for the rest of my life. But I didn't know that from the day I returned to the Lin family, Lin Muan fell in love with Ji Baiyang, the prince of the Beijing circle. After the marriage, she was extremely cold to me, and even every time she held my hand, she would immediately go to the bathroom to wash it clean. Later, she became pregnant. In order to prevent her beloved from becoming a mistress, and to be with him legitimately, she pushed me off a cliff with her own hands. Before dying, she walked to the pool of blood in her high heels and sneered, Guche, you poor wretch who reeks of poverty. Do you even deserve to be my husband, Lin Muan's husband? My first choice will always be a Yang, and my backup can be anyone. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day when old Mrs. Lin asked me what I wanted to repay her. This time, I put away my wishful thinking and didn't even look at Lin Muan. I need some cash, plus a plane ticket to America. Some money? Gusha, are you playing hard to get with me? Lin Muan's sharp voice pierced the luxurious tranquility of the Lin family villa. She sat on the European-style leather sofa, arms crossed. Those eyes that once held me in their gaze now held only undisguised contempt and mockery. She had only been back at the Lin family for less than 3 days, and the cheap cotton dress I had scrimped and saved to buy her had long been replaced by a high-end Chanel suit. The dazzling diamond necklace around my neck seemed to silently draw a line between our class differences. Old Mrs. Lin sat upright in the main seat, a string of small sandalwood prayer beads in her hands. Her cloudy yet shrewd eyes sized me up and down, as if assessing the remaining value of a worthless item. Mr. Gu, Wanner is straightforward, don't mind her. A man in a white suit with dark patterns walked out from behind Lin Muan. He is Ji Baiyang, a well-known rich young master in Beijing's social circle. He sat down next to Lin Muan and naturally took her hand. Lin Muan did not dodge, but instead her ears turned slightly red and she leaned closer to him. Ji Baiyang looked at me, a seemingly gentle but actually malicious smile curving his lips. Mr. Gu saved Wanner. It's only natural that he wants some compensation. I just don't know just how big is Mr. Gu's appetite for this sum of money. He deliberately emphasized the word appetite, his eyes filled with condescending charity and contempt. I calmly looked at the 3 people in front of me. The feeling of weightlessness and the excruciating pain of being shattered to pieces when I fell off the cliff in my past life still seemed to linger in my bones and blood. Lin Muan's words on the cliff top, "How can you, a lowly poor man, be worthy to be my husband?" still resonate powerfully to this day. I pulled myself back to reality, my gaze passing over Ji Baiyang and looking directly at old Madame Lin. I want 10 million. My voice was completely flat, as if I were talking about today's weather. The living room fell into dead silence for a moment. Then Lin Muan let out an extremely exaggerated cold laugh. 10 million? Gusha, are you crazy? You work 4 jobs a day, serving dishes at a restaurant, carrying bricks on a construction site. How much can you earn in a month if you work yourself to death? Now you're asking for 10 million. Do you think the Lin family's money comes from thin air? The disgust in her eyes was almost overflowing. I knew it. You didn't save me out of kindness. You're a complete vampire. You pretended to be high and mighty and wanted to leave, but you just wanted to ask for an exorbitant amount, didn't you? Ji Baiyang quickly grabbed Lin Muan's wrist and gently patted her back to comfort her. Wanner, don't be angry. It's not worth getting sick from anger. He turned to look at me, his brows furrowed, feigning a pained expression. Mr. Gu, I thought you were an honest man, but I never expected you to be so greedy. 10 million is indeed nothing to the Lin family, but for someone like you from the bottom rungs, suddenly receiving so much money can easily lead you astray. I advise you to be more down to earth. Take 100,000 or 20,000 and go back to start a small business. Wouldn't that be better? Every word she said was for my sake, and every word was an insult to my insatiable greed and hopelessness. Looking at Ji Baiyang's hypocritical face, I suddenly felt that I was pitifully stupid in my past life, actually losing to such a low-class male green tea. I ignored Ji Baiyang's provocation and just looked at old Madame Lin. Old Madame Lin? Is Miss Lin's life not even worth 10 million? Old Mrs. Lin's hand, which was holding the Buddhist prayer beads, paused and a gloomy look flashed in her cloudy eyes. The Lin family is a top-tier wealthy family with a prominent reputation in Jingzhou. If word gets out that the Lin family's daughter's savior was only given 100,000 or 20,000 and then dismissed, where will the Lin family's face be? Fine, 10 million, I'll give it to you. Old Mrs. Lin's voice was hoarse, carrying an unquestionable authority. Grandma! Lin Muan became anxious and stamped her foot. How can you agree to such an unreasonable request? A poor wretch like her, who knows how she'll squander the money? Old Mrs. Lin raised her hand, stopping Lin Muan from speaking. She stared at me, her tone icy. Gucci, I can give you 10 million. But after you take this money, you must sign a confidentiality agreement. From now on, you are not allowed to mention to anyone that you saved Warner, and you are not allowed to appear in front of Warner and the Lin family again, under any pretext. Can you do that? I nodded without hesitation. Of course, I hope even more than you that we never have any contact again in this life. Lin Muan was stunned. She seemed not to have expected me to agree so readily, without even a trace of hesitation. In her subconscious, I should be the one who groveled like a dog, shamelessly clinging to her. Gucci, stop pretending. Do you think taking money can erase the stench of your lowly, sewer-like self? Let me tell you, even if you have 10 million in my eyes, still a despicable poor man. Ji Baiyang interjected at the opportune moment, his tone tinged with smugness. Mr. Gu, Warner's words, though blunt, are true. Different circles, don't force your way in. Take the money and hurry back to your quagmire. I watched them sing and sing in unison, feeling nothing, even a little amused. When will the money arrive? I ignored their mockery and looked at old Mrs. Lin. I will have the finance department prepare the check. The old lady said coldly. I want a cash transfer, I don't accept checks. I said firmly. Checks are at risk of being frozen, I won't give them any leverage over me. The old lady gave me a deep look and finally nodded. Okay, tomorrow afternoon. Bring your identification to the Lin group, sign the agreement. I turned and walked towards the door without stopping. See you tomorrow afternoon. Once the money is in my account, I will disappear immediately. Wishing Miss Lin and young Master Ji a long and happy marriage. The next afternoon, I appeared on time at the Lin Group's legal department. The terms of the agreement were extremely harsh, almost depriving me of all rights to mention Lin Muan's name. I didn't even look at it carefully, and directly signed my name and pressed my fingerprint on the last page. My phone vibrated with a ding, a bank SMS notification. 10 million has been deposited into my account. I stared at the long string of numbers and let out a long sigh. From this moment on, I was completely free. I walked out of the Lin Group building and took a taxi back to that cramped, dark basement apartment. This place held all the hard work and pain of my past life. In the corner, there was a pile of waste paper I had collected to buy nutritional supplements for Lin Muan. The cheap glass with a chipped corner on the table was a gift from the street vendor, after I pawned my father's only old watch to give him money for cold medicine. In my past life, when Lin Muan returned to the Lin family, she took nothing but this glass. She said with tears in her eyes that it was proof of our shared hardships. But later I learned that she took the glass back, only to prove to Ji Baiyang how much inhuman torture she had suffered at the bottom of society in order to gain Ji Baiyang's sympathy. That cup, in the end, was casually smashed to pieces by Ji Baiyang right in front of me. I picked up the glass, walked to the trash can, and let go with a loud crack. The glass was shattered all over the floor. Trash should stay in the trash can. Just then, the rickety iron door of the rented room was violently pushed open. Lin Muan covered her nose, standing at the door with a look of disgust. Ji Baiyang followed behind her, holding a clean white handkerchief and pretending to fan himself. Kuche, you actually hid in such a disgusting place. Lin Muan's high heels made a harsh sound on the uneven cement ground. This smell is even more nauseating than a sewer. Ji Baiyang frowned slightly, his tone full of superiority. Warner, I told you not to come to a place like this. In this environment, you'll get infected with bacteria if you stay for even a second longer. I continued tidying up my few tattered clothes without even looking up. Miss Lin, your esteemed presence is here. What brings you here? Our transaction is over. Lin Muan walked in, her gaze sweeping around the small room. When she saw the shards of glass in the trash can, her expression changed drastically. Gucci, you smashed that cup. She pointed at the trash can, her voice sharp and grating. I stuffed my clothes into my worn canvas bag and zipped it up. It's just a broken cup, it takes up space, so I threw it away. What do you know? That's... Lin Muan instinctively wanted to retort, but suddenly stopped. She glanced at Ji Baiyang beside her and swallowed the rest of her sentence. She couldn't show any lingering attachment to the past in front of Ji Baiyang. Ji Baiyang keenly noticed Lin Muan's emotional change. He stepped forward and poked at the broken glass on the ground with his toe, a mocking smile playing on his lips. Mr. Gu, Warner is sentimental. Even if it's trash, she'll find it meaningful. How could you smash it so violently? You're so inconsiderate. He sighed, pulled a 100-yen bill from his wallet, and threw it at my feet like charity to a beggar. You can buy a whole basket of these cheap knockoffs for 100 yen. Consider it compensation on Warner's behalf. Don't keep that deadpan look on your face. The fluttering banknote landed on my canvas bag. I stopped what I was doing, slowly straightened up, and looked at Ji Bayang with icy eyes. Young Master Ji, your money is too dirty, I find it disgusting. Ji Bayang's face instantly darkened. Guche, don't push your luck. You think you can be my equal just because you have 10 million? In my eyes, you are still a groveling bug who only knows how to wag your tail. Lin Muwan immediately stood in front of Ji Bayang, glaring at me. Guche, what's wrong with you? Bayang kindly gave you money and you dare to curse him. Pick up the money right now and apologize to Bayang. Her self-righteous, biased attitude is exactly the same as in my past life. I sneered, lifted my foot, and stepped directly on the 100 yuan bill, twisting it hard. Apologize? Does she deserve it? Lin Muwan, do you really think does the whole world revolve around you? I used to spoil you because I was blind. Now, in my eyes, you're not even worth as much as a shard of glass in this trash can. Lin Muwan's eyes widened instantly, her face filled with disbelief. She seemed unable to accept that Gu Che, who had once been so obedient to her, dared to speak to her in such a tone. You, how dare you speak to me like that? She was trembling with anger and raised her hand to slap me. I grabbed her wrist with such force that she cried out in pain. Miss Lin, put away your arrogant face. I forcefully shook off her hand. Take your good dog and get out of my house. Otherwise, I don't mind calling the police and accusing you of trespassing. Seeing this, Ji Bayang immediately rushed over to support Lin Muwan, glaring fiercely at me. Guche, you just wait! In Jingzhou, if you offend me, Ji Bayang, I have 100 ways to make you wish you were dead. I picked up my canvas bag and slung it over my shoulder, meeting his gaze without fear. I'm always ready, just afraid you don't have the ability. I strode out of the rented room, leaving the two of them behind. Guche, why have you become so mean? It's simply unreasonable. Lin Muwan's exasperated voice rang out behind me. I didn't even turn my head. After leaving the rented room, I went straight to a budget hotel near the airport. My flight was booked for 6 days from now. All I needed to do was wait quietly. However, the Lin family clearly didn't intend for me to leave so easily. On the evening of the 3rd day, there was a loud knock on my door. 2 bodyguards in black suits stood outside, holding cheap suits. Mr. Gu, the old lady has ordered that you must attend the Lin family's thank you banquet tonight. The bodyguard's tone was firm and left no room for negotiation. I frowned. The agreement has been signed and I've received the money. I have no obligation to attend any thank you banquet. The bodyguard sneered. The old lady said that if you don't go, she has plenty of ways to bankrupt the construction company you used to work for. I heard that the foreman there I used to take good care of you. My eyes turned cold. Old Mrs. Lin is threatening me with innocent people. In my past life, that contractor did lend me a few hundred yuan when I was in my most difficult time. Although I am cold-blooded, I would not implicate my benefactor. Okay, I'll go. I took the suit and changed into it in front of them. The suit was obviously a size too small. The fabric was rough and I looked like a ridiculous clown. The Lin family is deliberately trying to embarrass me at the banquet to highlight Ji Bayang's nobility. At 8 p.m., I was half escorted by bodyguards to the banquet hall of the most luxurious hotel in Jingzhou. The magnificent hall was filled with elegant ladies in shimmering silks. As soon as I stepped in, I immediately attracted strange looks from those around me. Who is that person? Dressed so shabbily, how did she get in? I heard she's the one who saved the eldest daughter of the Lin family. She's like a toad trying to eat swan meat. She doesn't even know her own worth. Exactly. Compared to Ji Xiao, they're worlds apart. These sarcastic comments penetrated my ears without reservation. I walked expressionlessly to the sofa in the corner, sat down and picked up a glass of water. Not long after, a commotion arose in the crowd. Lin Muwan, arm in arm with Ji Bayang, walked out like a star surrounded by admirers. Lin Muwan looked stunning in an ice blue haute couture evening gown. Ji Bayang wore a well-tailored black tuxedo with a priceless sapphire brooch pinned to his chest. The two of them standing together truly looked like a perfect couple. Standing on the stage, old Mrs. Lin greeted the guests with a beaming smile. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend. My granddaughter, Wanner's thank you banquet. Wanner had been away for many days. Thanks to the great help of Ji Bayang, the young master of the Ji family, we were able to return safely. Bayang, that child is loyal and righteous. The Lin family is endlessly grateful. I sat in the corner listening to old Madam Lin's distorted words and almost laughed out loud. I was the one who risked my life to rescue Lin Muwan from the kidnappers, but in old Madam Lin's mouth, all the credit went to Ji Bayang, while I, the real savior, didn't even deserve to have my name mentioned. Just then, Ji Bayang walked straight towards me with 2 glasses of red wine. He wore a fake smile, his voice neither too loud nor too soft, just loud enough for those around him to hear. Mr. Gu, it's so boring sitting here all alone. Here, let me toast you. He handed me a glass of red wine, but I didn't take it. I don't drink. A hint of malice flashed in Ji Bayang's eyes, but he still pretended to be innocent. Mr. Gu, are you disrespecting me? Or are you still angry with me for what happened in the rented room that day? I know you're jealous that Wanner chose me, but feelings can't be forced. He deliberately raised his voice a few decibels, and the surrounding guests stopped talking and looked over. Who do you think you are? Do you even deserve my jealousy? I looked at him coldly. Ji Bayang suddenly took a step forward and tripped. The red wine glass in his hand splashed straight into his chest. Ouch! Ji Bayang screamed dramatically and fell backward to the ground. The dark red wine instantly stained his expensive white shirt, and the whole room erupted in an uproar. Lin Muan rushed over like a madwoman pushing through the crowd. Bayang, are you all right? She helped Ji Bayang up with heartache and hurriedly wiped him with tissues. Ji Bayang's eyes were red, his voice trembling, looking as if he had suffered a great injustice. Wanner, I'm fine. Mr. Gu was probably just in a bad mood. He didn't push me on purpose. His scheming words instantly ignited Lin Muan's anger. Lin Muan turned her head sharply, glaring at me with eyes blazing with fury. She rushed in front of me in her high heels and raised her hand to slap me. I slightly tilted my head, easily dodging her slap. Gucha, you despicable poor wretch! Lin Muan pointed at me furiously, her voice so shrill it almost pierced my eardrums. Bayang kindly offered you a drink and you dared to push him away. You immediately kneeled down and apologized to Bai Yang. Otherwise, I will never let you go today. The surrounding guests also began to criticize me. What an uncultured barbarian. How could the Lin family invite such low-life trash to a banquet? Hurry up and kneel down and apologize, don't offend everyone's eyes. I stood there, coldly watching this group of self-proclaimed noble upper-class people. What if I say I don't apologize? Not apologize? Gucha, have you forgotten what you are? Lin Muan's eyes were filled with utter disgust, as if she were looking at a pile of nauseating excrement. Her chest heaved violently, and her finger pointing at me was trembling. You think you can do whatever you want in this circle? Just because you took that 10 million? Let me tell you here, crushing you is easier than crushing an ant. Ji Bayang leaned against Lin Muan's chest, continuing to put on his disgusting acting. He gently tugged at Lin Muan's skirt, his voice so weak it sounded like he might faint at any moment. Wanner, let it go. Mr. Gu might just be feeling inferior because of his humble background, which is why he took such an extreme action. I'll just change my clothes. Don't let me ruin everyone's fun. The more he said that, the more Lin Muan felt he had suffered a great injustice, and the deeper her hatred for him grew. No, today she must kneel down and kowtow to you to apologize. At this moment, old Madame Lin walked over, surrounded by bodyguards. Her face was ashen, and the sandalwood prayer beads in her hands creaked as she gripped them. Guche, the Lin family is giving you face, don't be ungrateful. The old lady's voice wasn't loud, but it carried an unyielding pressure. If you don't kneel down and kowtow to settle this matter today, I can have the bank freeze your 10 million at any time. Not only that, I will make sure you can't make a living in Jingzhou, or even in the whole country. As the old lady finished speaking, more than a dozen burly bodyguards in black quickly surrounded me, trapping me in a corner. The surrounding guests retreated, fearing that they might witness Yi Shengxi's joy, but their eyes were filled with excitement at the prospect of a good show. The sense of oppression reached its peak at this moment. Everyone thought that I, a penniless nobody from the bottom of society, could only kneel down and beg for mercy in the face of the Lin family's power. Looking at Lin Muan's smug face, at the sinister look in Ji Bayang's eyes, and at old Madame Lin's haughty demeanor, I suddenly laughed. The laughter sounded particularly abrupt in the deathly silent banquet hall. What are you laughing at?
Are you crazy?
Lin Muan frowned, feeling a little uneasy at my laughter. I stopped smiling and slowly took out my phone from my pocket. I laugh at you self-proclaimed smart upper-class people, that you'd be completely fooled by a lowly actor. As I spoke, I opened an app on my phone. This is some hacking skill I learned in my past life, to prevent my contractor from withholding my wages. I was bored in a corner just now, so I casually hacked into this hotel's surveillance system. Lin Muan, open your eyes wide and see clearly who's being a jerk. I pressed the enter key. The huge LED screen in the center of the banquet hall suddenly flickered, and then the screen, which had been playing a promotional video for the Lin family's company, switched to a high-definition surveillance video. The video clearly showed everything that had just happened. Ji Bayang walked towards me with a wine glass in his hand. I even took a half step back as he approached, keeping my hands in my pockets the whole time, and didn't touch him at all. Ji Bayang deliberately tripped over his own feet with his left foot, and then precisely spilled the entire glass of red wine onto his own chest. Finally, he fell backward, completing that clumsy fake fall. The entire process was displayed to everyone from every angle. Even the sinister smile on his lips before he fell was magnified clearly. The entire venue was deathly silent. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the big screen. Their facial expressions were incredibly varied. The guests who had just been clamoring for me to kneel down were now as if they had been collectively choked, unable to utter a single word. I put my phone back in my pocket, crossed my arms and looked at Ji Bayang, whose face was ashen with a half smile. Miss Lin, your acting skills are truly remarkable. Seems a bit off. You dare to scheme against me? Ji Bayang's originally pitiful face instantly twisted, his voice sharp like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He shoved Lin Muan away, pointed at the big screen, and roared angrily, "This video is fake! You forged it!" The images on the big screen continued to loop, each replay like a resounding slap across Ji Bayang's face. The guests began to whisper, their gazes towards Ji Bayang shifting from sympathy to contempt and mockery, so he fell down by himself. It's a shame his acting skills aren't Oscar-worthy. The young master of the prestigious Ji family actually resorted to such despicable means to frame an ordinary person. Is truly shameful. The Lin family really misjudged this time, choosing such a scoundrel. These comments pierced Lin Muwan's ears like needles. Her face turned ashen and her body trembled slightly. She felt extremely ashamed. But her first reaction was still not to apologize to me. "Guche, how can you be so scheming, secretly recording videos?" Lin Muwan suddenly turned her head, staring at me fiercely. "You just want to ruin Bayang's reputation, don't you? You lowly people," her thoughts were utterly vicious. Looking at her stubborn and unyielding appearance, I felt nothing but utter absurdity. "Lin Muwan, if you don't want to use your brain, you can donate it to someone in need." I picked up a microphone from the table next to me, and my voice was amplified throughout the banquet hall through the speakers. She was the one who provoked me first. She spilled the wine on herself. I was just stating the facts. How did that make me malicious? I coldly scanned everyone present. Is this how your so-called high society turns black into white and calls a deer a horse? Old Mrs. Lin trembled with anger, pointing at me and shouting, "Rebellious!" Absolutely rebellious. "Security guards, throw this arrogant bastard out of here!" A dozen bodyguards stepped forward again. I stood there without fear, coldly watching old Mrs. Lin. "I don't need you to throw me out. I'll leave by myself. I've already got the 10 million from the Lin family. From now on, Guche will have absolutely no connection with Lin Muwan or the Lin family. I don't want to stay in your disgusting circle for even a day longer." I slammed the microphone down on the table, making a piercing roar. I turned around and strode towards the banquet hall's entrance. Wherever I went, the bodyguards were intimidated by my imposing presence and involuntarily made way for me. Lin Muwan watched my resolute back and suddenly felt a strange emptiness in her heart, as if something that originally belonged to her was completely slipping out of her control. She subconsciously took a step forward, but her pride made her stop abruptly. "Guche, you're leaving this room today even if you beg me on your knees. I won't look at you again," Lin Muwan shouted hoarsely from behind. I didn't turn around and I didn't even stop walking. "As you wish." I pushed open the heavy door of the banquet hall, completely shutting that smoky world behind me. The night breeze brought a touch of coolness, but it made me feel more clear-headed and free than ever before. "Go and find out where that poor bastard Guche has gone." Lin Muwan swept all the documents on her desk to the ground in frustration. A month has passed since that farcical thank-you banquet. In this month, Lin Muwan felt that her life was a complete mess. Every morning when she woke up, there was no longer a perfectly warm bowl of stomach-soothing porridge brought to her bedside. She could never find matching accessories for those expensive haute couture dresses in her walk-in closet, because Guche used to arrange them for her. When her stomach ache flared up, she was rolling around in bed in pain and called Ji Bayang. That man would only say a perfunctory sentence. "Drink more hot water, I'm still in a meeting." In the past, Guche would brave the heavy rain to run all over half the city just to buy her the hot porridge she loved to drink the most. Lin Muwan rubbed her temples, which were throbbing slightly, and a strange sense of irritation welled up in her heart. She didn't want to admit that she had gotten used to Guche's service. She just assumed that Guche, this cheap nanny, had suddenly quit, leaving her unable to adapt for a while. What bothered her even more was that Ji Bayang's true colors were gradually being exposed. Several times she even smelled a pungent, cheap perfume on Ji Bayang's suit jacket. When she questioned him, Ji Bayang would always impatiently push her away, saying that she was being unreasonable. "Miss found it." The assistant nervously pushed open the door and handed over a document. "Guche." He went to Haicheng, and he used that 10 million to register a technology company, and it's doing quite well now. Lin Muwan snatched the documents and stared intently at the photo of Guche in a suit, looking dashing and spirited. In the photo, Guche's eyes were sharp, and his temperament was calm. There was no trace of his former humble and obsequious poor appearance. A strong sense of loss of control and jealousy instantly gripped Lin Muwan's heart. Why does he live so well, taking our Lin family's money to live a carefree life? Lin Muwan said through gritted teeth. "Book me a plane ticket to Haicheng right away. I want to go and see it for myself. What on earth is he up to?" The next afternoon, Lin Muwan appeared downstairs at my company building, wearing 10-centimeter high heels and looking very aggressive. She still acted like a haughty young lady, completely ignoring the receptionist's attempts to stop her and barging into my office. I was sitting behind my large desk, looking at the project report in my hand. Hearing the noise, I didn't even lift my eyelids. "Guche, you've got some nerve daring to start a company behind my back." Lin Muwan walked to the desk and slammed her hands heavily on the surface. I slowly closed the report, looked up, and stared at her coldly. "Miss Lin, trespassing in someone else's office is a legal offense. Gucci, have you had enough? Come back with me and I can forgive your previous rudeness. Forgive me? Lin Muan, do you have some kind of serious cognitive impairment? I leaned back in my ergonomic office chair, crossed my arms in front of me, and looked at her like I was looking at a mental patient. Lin Muan was speechless and her face turned red. She stared at me intently, as if trying to find a trace of pretense on my face, but she was disappointed. In my eyes, there was only cold mockery, not a trace of the infatuation she was familiar with. Stop pretending! Lin Muan raised her voice, trying to hide her inner panic. You deliberately went to Haicheng. To open a company, isn't that just trying to get my attention? You think you can hide your inherent poverty by wearing a suit? Let me tell you, you'll always be just a lowly good-for-nothing, who survives only because of the Lin family's charity. I listened quietly to her hysterical outburst, a cruel smile curving my lips. In my past life, she used the same condescending tone to belittle me into the dust. I stood up and slowly walked around the desk to stand in front of her. My immense height advantage and the aura of someone accustomed to being in a superior position forced Lin Muan to involuntarily take a step back. Lin Muan, do you think your first choice will always be Ji Baiyang? I stared into her eyes and repeated to her, word for word, what she had said to me on the edge of the cliff in our past life. And I, this lowly poor man, I'm only fit to be your go-to backup. Lin Muan was struck dumb, frozen in place. She stared at me with wide eyes, utterly terrified. She had only thought of this in the darkest corner of her heart, never uttering it to anyone. She didn't understand why I could so accurately pierce through the dirtiest secret in her heart. You! How could you? Her lips trembled, unable to utter a complete sentence. I didn't give her a chance to breathe, continuing to pierce her heart with every word. What kind of noble princess do you think you are? You're nothing but an ungrateful, selfish, and heartless wretch. You enjoy my sacrifices, yet despise my background. You admire Ji Baiyang's power, yet you're blind to his character. Now you in my eyes, she's not even as good as a stray dog on the street. Lin Muan's psychological defenses completely collapsed. She covered her ears and shook her head frantically. No, that's not it. You're talking nonsense. I was too lazy to look at her ugly state anymore, so I pressed the internal phone on my desk. Security, come up here and throw this crazy woman out of the office. In less than half a minute, 2 burly security guards rushed in and grabbed Lin Muan's arms on either side. Let me go! Do you know who I am? I am the eldest daughter of the Lin family. Lin Muan struggled desperately, her exquisite makeup distorted by anger and fear. I sat back down in my chair and reopened the report. Throw her out. Don't let this kind of trash into my company again. You dare call me trash? Gucha, you'll regret this. Lin Muan fled back to Jingzhou in a sorry state, only to be met with devastating news that could destroy the Lin family. Ji Baiyang is in trouble. He not only kept several escorts on the side, but was also suspected of using several core projects of the Lin family to carry out large-scale money laundering and economic fraud. After the affair was exposed, the police arrested Ji Baiyang, who was out partying at an underground casino. The news sent shockwaves through the Jingzhou business community. The Lin Group's stock plummeted to its daily limit within 10 minutes of opening, wiping out billions in market value. Old Mrs. Lin suffered a stroke due to the stress and was admitted to the ICU, where she remains unconscious. Lin Muan panicked completely and went to the detention center to question Ji Baiyang. Through the iron bars, Ji Baiyang's usual gentle and refined facade vanished. His face was contorted, and his eyes were as sinister as a venomous snake. What are you doing here? Are you here to laugh at me? Ji Baiyang spat viciously. Lin Muan cried and pounded on the glass. Baiyang, why did you do this? Why did you lie to me? Why did you destroy the Lin family? Ji Baiyang suddenly burst into maniacal laughter, laughing until tears streamed down his face. Lie to you, it's your own stupidity. You really think I'd even look at a used shoe like you? If it weren't for the Lin family's resources, do you think I'd lower myself to coax a fool like you who's practically begging for money? Every word was like a sharp knife, stabbing deeply into Lin Muan's heart. She collapsed to the ground, feeling as if her whole world had crumbled. Only at this moment did she finally see Ji Baiyang's true colors. In the abyss of despair, Lin Muan frantically recalled me. She remembered Gu Che, who worked 4 jobs a day just to buy her a small cake. She remembered Gu Che, who had stayed by her bedside night after night when she was sick, not daring to close his eyes even for a moment. Intense regret gnawed at her insides like a venomous snake. It was late autumn in Haicheng, and the rain was pouring down. I had just finished an important business negotiation and was sitting in the back seat of my Maybach, preparing to return to the hotel. The car had just driven out of the underground parking garage when the driver suddenly slammed on the brakes. Mr. Gu, there's someone kneeling in the rain, blocking the way! I rolled down the window and looked coldly. Lin Muan was soaked to the bone in the heavy rain, kneeling in front of the car like a drowned rat. Her once delicate hair was plastered to her face, and her dress was covered in mud. Seeing the window rolled down, she scrambled to the car door and clung tightly to the edge. Gucci, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Please give me another chance, okay? Give you a chance? Let you push me off the cliff again! I held up a large black paper umbrella, opened the car door, and looked down at Lin Muan in the mud. Cold rain dripped down the umbrella ribs and hit her face. Lin Muan suddenly looked up, staring at me in terror. Of course, she didn't know about my rebirth. She only felt that my portrait was a rusty iron saw, slowly sawing open her soul, leaving her nowhere to hide. What are you saying? I don't understand. Her teeth were chattering, trying to hide her extreme fear. I enjoyed her current wretchedness and despair, feeling no pity, only the pleasure of revenge. It doesn't matter if you don't understand. You just need to know that you are right now in my eyes. You're not even worth a puddle of mud. Lin Muan broke down and cried. She rushed over without hesitation and hugged my leg tightly, mud staining my bespoke suit pants. Gucci, I really regret it. Ji Bayang is a beast, he lied to me, and he ruined the Lin family. Grandma is still in the hospital being treated. And the Lin family is about to go bankrupt. Gucci, you're all I have left. She raised her face, tears mingling with rain, trying to evoke even a trace of old feelings in me with her pitiful appearance. Gucci, I'm pregnant. It's Ji Bayang's, but I'll get rid of it tomorrow. As long as you're willing to accept me, I'll listen to whatever you say from now on. I'll be your slave. Listening to her shameless words, I felt nauseous. In my past life, she also used this child as an excuse to lure me to the edge of a cliff and pushed me off with her own hands. My eyes narrowed, I raised my leg and kicked her away without mercy. Lin Muan screamed and fell heavily into the muddy puddle, splashing up a cloud of dirty water. Lin Muan, you don't even have the right to make me hate you. I looked down at her, my tone as cold as ice. Your current groveling and begging look disgusts me. Don't pollute my eyes, get out! My eyes narrowed and I kicked her away without hesitation. Lin Muan screamed and fell heavily into the muddy puddle, splashing up a cloud of dirty water. I turned and got into the car, not looking at her again. I coldly instructed the driver to drive. Yes, Mr. Gu. Ah Sen's voice on the other end of the phone was as efficient and calm as ever. The source is absolutely reliable. The Lin family is now facing setbacks everywhere. No domestic bank dares to lend them money anymore. They are contacting an overseas shady financial firm through an underground intermediary, hoping to use the old house as collateral to obtain a life-saving loan. Shady financial firm? That old house, what's the market valuation? Normally, it would be at least 500 million. But now the Lin family urgently needs money, and the other party is the ruthless Black Gold Capital. I estimate they can only offer a loan of 200 million at most. Moreover, the interest rate is absolutely astronomical. 200 million? Do they even deserve it? Asen, listen to this. Use all our connections to immediately find out which Black Gold Capital representative the Lin family contacted, and the specific time and place of their negotiations.